Today in that issue for teens, risky business. Teenagers help other teens take smart risks.
That just goes to show you what happens when you don't buckle up.
That's that issue today. Welcome to That Issue for Teens. I'm Kevin O'Keefe. Do you know what the #1 killer of teenagers in Canada is? Cancer, heart disease, AIDS? It's injury. That means it's 100% preventable. A new program called No Regrets has got Canadian teens telling other teens that it's okay to take risks, just be smart about it. Check it out.
You gotta add that in the video for sure. You like to take risks, right? I do. Everyone does. Keeps you alive, on the edge, feeling good. The #1 killer of Canadian teens is injury. Injuries caused by things like car crashes and drowning take the lives of more young people than all other causes of death combined. But it doesn't have to be that way. Almost all injuries are predictable and preventable.
I've had new directions to your house.
Oh, okay, what? Oh, yeah.
SMARTRISK No Regrets is a program that helps young people like you and me take smart risks. And that means seeing risk and managing it so that you can keep on skateboarding, partying, driving, and just having a great time. It's a peer-to-peer leadership program with a difference, because when you talk about risk, it's never don't do this, don't do that. There's no preaching.
At SMARTRISK, we really recognize that students have the power and the skills and knowledge necessary to make change in their school communities, especially around injury prevention. So our whole program and training sessions focus on empowering young people to look at what the risks are in their school and surrounding community, and then plan and host initiatives that really work to change students' behavior.
So you can live your life with no regrets.
I'm thinking maybe the guy covered in tattoos at the end of the video might have a few regrets. But two students who have no regrets are 17-year-old Ryan Wilson and Maddie McEachern. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kevin.
Ryan, I want to start with you. What exactly is No Regrets?
No Regrets is a program implemented in high school schools around Canada and other parts of the world. And what it aims to do is really just prevent injury in youth, because as you said before, youth is the #1 killer, or
injury, yeah.
Injury is the #1 killer in youth ages. So No Regrets wants to promote taking safe risks rather than to prevent injury. Just
so the idea is you can still take a risk. That's not the issue.
Exactly.
It's okay to be a teenager and be risky
we
and
want
have
to say
fun.
yes, yeah. So we promote risks because risks is pretty much what life is about. It's all about taking risks, like fun risks or any other type of risk like that. But we just want to make sure that students and youth just take necessary precautions to make sure that they're safe and they can live a long, happy life.
Maddie, how did you get involved?
Well, in grade 10, I joined the team because I basically just found out about it from other people who had previously been in it in older grades. And
Why did you decide to join? Why is that something that appealed to you?
Well, they did classroom visits to our classes in grade 9, so they just basically first introduced it to us and told us what it's about. And I found out that it was a really important cause, because if it just changing one person's perspective on something, then you can maybe save a life, and it's just something that I found really amazing.
I understand your brother didn't think it was that amazing.
No. Well, a lot of people find it as we're rather telling them not to do things, but we really try to stress that we're not telling you not to do things. We just want you to be aware of what it is you are doing.
I want to get into your message, Ryan. There are 5 points that you use when you talk to other students. What are the 5 points?
5 key messages. They are: look first, wear the gear, drive sober, buckle up, and get trained.
So let's start with each one of them. What does that mean?
So I guess just for simplicity's sake, we'd start with look first. What it pretty much encompasses is just a broad perspective of checking your surroundings before you take a risk, or whenever you open yourself up to an environment where there could be hazards which could come your way. So Look First really just wants to let people know and become aware of what's around them. So if you're crossing a street, for instance, you'd look both ways, make sure you know like there's no cars coming, the light's green, there's no dangers really that can hurt you.
Why don't you take the second one, Maddie? What's the second one?
Well, buckle up. And we find that when people hear the words buckle up, they immediately think of wearing your seatbelt.
Yeah.
But we like to stress that it's a lot of other things. Like if you're going to be wearing a helmet, that's great, but you have to make sure it's done up or else
Yes.
it's not really effective.
I've seen lots of people do that. They have the helmet
Yeah.
on and it's not buckled together. What about the third one?
The third one, I guess we can go right to drive sober, which is a major part of youth injury because many teens often may drink or subconsciously or by accident
And then they end up driving.
decide to drive like somehow. Just like when you're under the influence of alcohol, sometimes decisions don't come as clear. And when
Right.
they drive, they open themselves up to a huge hazard, which would be car accidents, car crashes.
Or hitting somebody else.
Or hitting somebody else, and then the other people now have also been caused injury. So by driving sober and enforcing a positive message rather than saying like don't drink and drive.
Don't party, don't, yeah.
Yeah, we want to say just drive sober.
Right,
live
so
your
it's not
life
about
and
don't,
survive.
it's
exactly.
do.
Positive.
So do drive sober.
Yes.
Got it. What's the next
Also,
one?
just on Ryan's point about the
Yeah.
drive sober, we're not just talking about alcohol. Like, if you're
okay.
too tired, we want make sure you're not going to be like, going out driving because you're not really aware of your surroundings.
So impaired and
Yeah, it has a lot to do with distracted driving. So if the music's too loud, you're texting on your phone. We don't want any of that because that
Right.
can also cause injury.
Right, you're right, because you
Yeah.
only think of it as drinking, but it's impaired.
Yeah. And then the next point would be get trained. So it's just basically if you don't know what you're doing, then don't go off and do it right away.
So I want to rock climb,
Yeah,
and I
you
just
need
want
to know what you're doing.
hang out. So I shouldn't assume that I know what I'm
Yeah.
doing. And then wear the gear, I guess, is the last point.
Yeah,
See, I'm
and-
listening.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you've got this.
What does that mean,
Memorized.
wear the gear?
Wear the gear is really just if you're going on any certain scenarios where you're required to wear certain protective gear, for instance. So if you're going, say, parachute jumping or something like that, then you'd obviously want to wear a parachute.
Got
you
it.
don't want to just fall out of the sky or anything like that. But
Right.
wearing the gear is just really just mentoring kids and pretty much promoting that teenagers, and even this applies to all ages, they should really just wear what is necessary for the work or
Right.
scenario.
The thing
they're in.
that I find interesting about the program, I can remember being a teenager in school, and we had I think it was Elmer the safety elephant, which is this elephant that taught you how to do safe things.
Yeah.
It was quite sad. Anyway, it's how difficult is it to get your peers, your friends, to abide by these 5 things? How do you find it goes over in school?
Well, really just fortunate enough, Maddie and I go to Northern Secondary School, which I guess is quite big and there's a lot of students and stuff like that. But we do find that students do take to the positive messaging, stuff like that.
Really?
SMARTRISK. They do ask questions sometimes, of course, because you want to know what SMARTRISK is really about. But the students seem to be taking it quite well, especially because classroom visits, which start in grade 9 and 10, so we'll visit classrooms like that. It really just gets what SMARTRISK is about and the messages that we're trying to promote at an early age in high school.
And people
don't
open to
really
it.
take a negative effect to it, which is very.
I guess because you're
fortunate for
maybe
us.
the slightly older kids coming to the
Yeah.
slightly younger, so you're the cool
Grade
kids in the
12
class.
dominance. I don't know.
Maddie, you're now, both you and Ryan and Carolyn, who couldn't be here today, are leading the group in your
Yes.
school. What does that involve as a leader?
Well, basically, we acquire a team of 26 students that we have now, plus the 3 of us. So we just train them and teach them basically what the idea of SMARTRISK is, make sure they understand what's going on, so that we can send them around school to promote our message as well. So it's not just the 3 of us. So we are just basically encouraging them to be a big role model about it and a big spokesperson towards the program.
And tell me how you pick those 26 people. You actually turn people away, I understand.
Yes.
Rigorous process. Nah, it's just it went by quite well last year when we were with the 3 previous SMARTRISK leaders of last year. We were with them, so it was 6 of us who were giving out the application forms or just telling
So
people. on
students had to
announcements.
apply to be part of this team.
Yes,
They just couldn't
that's
do
it.
it. Wow.
Exactly, yeah. So they pick up the forms, bring them back, and then we'd set up interviews that the students would come to, and they'd take about 5 minutes. So we'd ask general questions, such as, what do you think SmartRisk is about? What do you think of smart risks? Do you think they're important? Do you have any ideas for activities that SmartRisk could do? Anything that would really, get students, that would like show that students are interested in, helping peers.
And if they said they just wanted to do it to put it on their resume, what did you do, Maddie?
Yes, we don't encourage people to say that at all because we don't want people who are just doing it to like make them look better. We want people who are really committed to the cause and like think it's a really important thing. So if they're saying we just want it for a resume, well then like that's not what we want for them.
You want people who are really passionate about this. Tell me about some of the activities you do at school to promote smart risks.
Well, one of the major events would definitely be assemblies. We talk to the students as a whole so that really everybody can learn about what SmartRisk is. But we also do other activities such as things at lunch, such as the SmartRisk Olympics.
What's that?
Which is it's a different sporting kind of events like semi-sports, where let's just say you'll have like if you're shooting on a hockey net or something like that, and you have the beanbag and you're throwing it into the holes that are placed evenly on the net, then you want to look first, right? So maybe that could be a bit cheesy, I guess, but really it's just promoting like the idea of like really just gathering your surroundings before you do stuff like that. And Maddie, we also have a couple other activities that are planned for this year as well.
Our main one is usually the classroom visits because that's going straight to the students and talking to them. They share their stories with us and like we talk to them about ours. So it's basically just having like, a conversation with this classroom, and it's like really effective because they like get really engaged in it and stuff. And we also have our distracted driving competition, which we set up a TV with a Wii, and we have like a driving game with like the steering wheel and the pedals and everything. And then we give them distractions and like see how it affects their driving in the game. So like we'll give them a phone and be like, send this text message, and like
while they have to drive and do it at the same time.
So like, it really makes them like right aware of like how these distractions are affecting them and stuff. So that's one of our major ones that like was really effective last year. A lot of students came out to that.
Well, thanks very much for coming in today and sharing the work that you're doing. And good luck in the future with your 26 volunteers.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Well, when we return, living with regrets, students who've been injured help other teens avoid making the same mistakes after this.